Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to change the fuel tank in Granny. Granny's a 1986 Toyota Camry with a 2.0 gasoline motor in it. It's not a hard process. First thing you want to do is jack it up and remove your passenger side tire. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. You'll figure that part out. Next, you need to remove the drain if there's still gas in the tank. And you do that with just a standard 3/8 ratchet. And mine, my car being, 40 years old almost, and original gas tank, it came off very easily. It was like hand tight. Toyota engineers are great. Anyways, so that's the first thing you do. Jack it up, take that tire off for easy access, drain the tank. Have something underneath it to catch the gas. Don't make a mess. It's kind of cramped over here, but maybe you can see this is what I used to catch my my gas that was coming out. You can kind of tell there's a lot of sediment in there. It's all settled over on that side. Very rusty tank. Anyways, what this is actually the bottom of a dog kennel. My dogs destroyed one of their kennels. They busted out of it, so I took a Sawzall to it and repurposed the floor. Now it catches whatever I needed to catch, in this case gasoline. Depending on how much gas you've got in your tank, you might want to do a different thing, maybe get a bucket, or even just like one of these dudes, to catch oil. But either way, just find something that's appropriately sized that'll catch all your gas. Next thing I'm doing is I'm putting this floor jack underneath the tank. Even though the tank is empty and so it's not real heavy, it'll still help me kind of control the descent whenever I take these straps off, and it won't come smashing and break my nose. You learn from experience, folks. You learn from experience. All right, so first thing you want to do is remove these straps right here. There's a bolt there. See my finger? There it is. And that's a 14 millimeter. 14. If I can get this wobble socket on there. Yeah, don't round it. Here we go. Now there's one on that side as well. Also, it's a good idea to put the bolt back in the hole where it came out of. That way, you're sure not to lose it, and it just makes the reassembly process a lot easier, I think. All right. So next to the other strap, this is on the passenger side. You got this clip. That's the clip for the fuel pump. So just press it out. Should come out pretty easily, right? And then it's just separate. So press on this piece. I don't know if I can do it one-handed or not, but I'm gonna try. No, I can't do it one-handed, but it's just a little simple clip. Pretty easy to figure out. Separate the clip. And with the clip undone, it makes it a little bit easier to get to compressor kicked on. Makes it a little bit easier to get to the other bolt. It's right there, holding that strap in. No, I'm sorry, it's right there, holding the strap in. You've also got fuel line plumbing here, and I'm gonna let this down first. I'm not sure. I think I need to let the tank down before I can take that off. That's gonna require two open-ended wrenches. All right, now that I've got both of my straps down, you see them hanging there, I'm going to lower the jack slowly and see what happens. All right. Not much. Figure that out. All right, I figured out why it didn't drop. So I jacked it back up, jacked the tank back up, and right here, this is where the filler neck is. Right, and then there's some plumbing here as well. You can see plumbing. This is what was holding it up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove these, right, and from there I should be able to get it down to work on it a little bit more. All right, so for the fuel neck, these clamps were 10 millimeters. There's one there, right, and one there. I just took them both off. And this guy for the little vent line was also a 10 millimeter. I didn't film it, but you're smart enough to figure out how. I don't care what your dad says, you're definitely smart enough. For these dudes right here, I'm just gonna use a pair of channel locks and pinch them off and yank them. If anything rips or whatever, it's fine for me anyways. You might want to be more careful. I intend to restore this car, so if something breaks, it was just weak and needed to be replaced. That's my mindset on this. All right, now I've got all those lines and everything disconnected. This guy I had to yank a lot harder than I thought was going to be necessary, but nothing broke, so we're good. Old car's tough. Now let me let this thing back down, see what happens. Hey, she's coming down more now. All right, so came down a little bit. Let me. Okay, so now I can see what else is holding up there. That line's disconnected. That's disconnected. Those guys are disconnected. What's holding you in here, babe? Let me see about undoing the straps on the other side. Maybe that's the issue. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead to this piece. This is at the rear of the car. I'm gonna see if this is holding me back. This is a 14 millimeter and a 19 millimeter on this side. So you're gonna take them and just loosen them, and they'll separate like that. Once they do, we'll see if I'm free then to come down. We're all learning together. It's okay. Let's try it again. God, let's give it a wiggle. Oh, I think she's wiggling out. I can see up in there a little bit. All right. Oh, wiring for the fuel pump. Yeah, okay. Let me go up inside and undo that. Jack this guy back up so I'm not hanging the tank by the wires. Okay. Oh, car's locked. And how do you get this up? Oh, like that. Cool. Hey, look at there. Let's undo that and see if that helps, huh? Looks like a couple of Phillips heads and a plug. Okay, so I've taken that plate off. It was just 3 Phillips heads and the plug, and now it should come right out. I did the fuel pump on this thing a few years ago, and if I remember correctly, I might not be remembering correctly, but I think I had to cut this carpet. So if this is the first time that this has been worked on, you may need to cut the carpet underneath the seat. Not a big deal, just use a box blade. I've done a lot of fuel pumps and stuff. I don't remember if I did the one on this one or not, but I feel like I did. I've owned this car for a few years now. All right, 75th time's the charm. Damn. What's holding it now? Oh, nothing. Nah, she's free. Okay. Yep. So it's free now. I'm just gonna have to finesse it out. You know, kind of walk it around all the subframe and stuff. I'll be back. All right, little update. So right here where the fuel pump comes into the tank, there was another vent line that I didn't get. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that now. And then I'm probably gonna have to remove this jack stand because I think it's in the way. I think the tank needs to come out this way. So I'm probably gonna jack it up by the rear bumper or something and see if I can slide this Johnny out through the rear. Well, the camera wasn't rolling because it took both hands. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. It was triumphant. I got it out. So there it is, laying on the ground. I had to wiggle it back and forth and get it around the parking brake cable. So I think that if I were to have removed the brackets for that, it would have been smoother. But you know, hindsight's 20/20. So maybe undo your parking brake cable and you do it yourself. Either way, it's down. Now on to the next thing. Keep it. All right, so I've got both of the tanks laid out, the old one and the new one. I've got them laid side by side, and I've got them oriented the same way. That way, I can put everything back on facing the same direction, and I don't wind up with, you know, a hose sticking out to the left when it's supposed to stick out to the right or something silly like that. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. It's just take it off of here, put it on there. Let's check it out. So the first thing is we're going to take off this pump, right? And we're going to put it so that this pigtail faces to the rear of the vehicle, just like it is. And we're doing that. I'm just going to use my handy drill, but if all you got's a screwdriver, that'll work too. Just a standard Phillips head. And it looks like this is going to be the same. It's a sending unit. And then over here, it's just these hose clamps. Easy peasy, right? So, let me get to work. Okay, so I had it backwards. That's the sending unit, and that's the pump up there in the front. That makes a lot more sense, right? Because that one actually has lines coming off of it, and this one doesn't. Whatever. I never claimed to be smart. I think I told you earlier I was an idiot. But listen, can you see how dirty that is in there? Look at that. That's the reason I'm replacing it. That's gross. Been causing all kind of issues. So, that's the first thing we're going to do. And also, I may not replace this. I may just overnight a new sending unit. Because look at that. That's no bueno. It's been having an issue reporting fuel level to me anyways. It's been giving kind of a funny read. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace this. Okay, here's the pump. So I remember now I did replace this pump probably 2 years ago. You can see how grody that inline, not inline filter, but that in-tank filter is. That's pretty bad. I'm going to attempt to clean it off, and I may actually have another one sitting around here somewhere, but with this out, I'm going to go ahead and clean it up the best that I can, try to get any of that surface rust stuff off, and yeah, see if I can't help this thing out a little bit. Here's another shot of the inside. Ooh, that's a nasty tank. That's a pretty tank. Alright, so I've called every store within like 50 miles and nobody has one of these. It does read still, but it's just kind of wonky. So I'm going to see if maybe if I clean that up, lubricate it or something. I don't know. We're going to see if I can clean that up, make it work a little bit better. But this, more importantly, because that's unsat, right? That's gross. Luckily, I happen to have a brand new one just chilling. So I installed that. It's a pretty simple process. It just snaps into the bottom. You move this little rubber boot out, press that in there, and you're good. So now I'm just going to take this and kind of finagle it back into the old tank. Like that. Yeah. There you go. And then I'm going to run screws back in it. We'll be good. I pulled a prank on you. I tricked you. I'm actually going to put it in the new one. That makes more sense. No, I'm just, again, kind of an idiot. Next we have the filler neck, and it comes out the same way. Look how dirty those screws are. Anyways, I'm going to have to hold on to it, but that's what you got to do. Phillips said. So a couple of these screws stripped out, as you saw, but if that happens to you, they're also an 8mm. So go ahead and grab you an 8mm and just wrench them out good old-fashioned way. So here's the filler neck removed from the tank, right? And I saw it and went, oh god, that's gross. And then I touched it and it just flaked right off. So it's not rusty. I was going to take a wire brush to it, but I don't think I have to do that. Let's see. Here's the thing. Dirty. Nah, it just comes right off. Alright. Cool. I'm going to still touch the inside of it because it's still rusty inside there. Or it's got that, whatever that corrosion is. I'm guessing that's from ethanol over the years. I don't know. But I'm going to clean that off with a little wire brush just to keep anything from getting inside the new tank and clogging it up again. Alright, so these screws, they don't need to be super tight. So all I've done is I put them in with my little drill, which I probably shouldn't have done, but I didn't put them in very tight. And I'm just coming around with this 8mm wrench and just putting a little extra torque on them. They're backed by rubber, so they make a seal. You just want to be sure you're getting that good seal. So just give them a little extra tightness. They don't need to be super tight. You will strip them. They're old, they're rusty, they're frail, kind of like me. But that's all you got to do. The pump's in, the neck's in, and now I'm going to work on this deal, this sender. All right, so here I am at the bench, and I've got this sending unit that you can probably tell is pretty gross. It still goes up and down, but like I said, I was having a little bit of an issue with getting a proper read on my fuel level, and I'm assuming now, looking at this thing, that that would be the reason as to why, right? So what all I'm gonna do is just clean it up a little bit with wire brush, some WD-40, see if I just can't get a little bit better function out of it. And also I want to get this garbage off before it goes in my new fuel tank anyways, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's soaking. Come on, pretty good. If you do this years, you're gonna want to be delicate. I'm just not. Yeah, all that garbage coming off nice. Cool. I don't really know what that is, but it is broken. Got a resistor in there. Let me just stick that back in there. Nope. Give it a shot there and install it. All right, I got it way cleaner. You can see it's not covered in all that rust and sediment stuff anymore, and not as bad anyhow. That little resistor piece, if somebody knows what it is, let me know. I have no idea. Honestly, God, I don't know what that is. But I'm just now going to reinstall it back in the new tank. Yunk. And we had the pigtail facing the rear, so we're going to do that again, just like that. And I'm going to install it with the screws the same way I did the pump and the filler neck, using a screwdriver and wrench. Easy money. All right, and there you have it. I've got all the old hardware switched over, cleaned up a little bit, and so now it's just time to put it back in granny, and then get some gas in there and test it. I've got a few more things I'm going to do. I'm going to rebuild the injectors. I'm going to change the fuel filter that's under the hood. A couple more things to do with the fuel system here. And then I'm also going to rebuild the exhaust. Try to fix that janky little lip thing that I did years ago. See if I can make that a little nicer. At some point, paint job. But I've done a lot to this car over the years, just getting it up and running and making it run well. And now it's just kind of more fine-tuning. But stick with me, and I will do more stuff on this car. If you have any requests, stuff that you'd like to see and I need to do, let me know, and we'll get it knocked out together. All right, so some closing thoughts from this little fuel tank swap. Obviously, I made some mistakes while I was doing it, and I left them in the final cut, and I didn't go back and try to refilm it, so I sounded smart and didn't, do anything wrong. I'm a person, I screw up, but hopefully you watching me screw up, you will know to avoid those things, and the job will go a little bit smoother for you. It wasn't a bad job. If I wasn't filming it, it probably would have taken me 45 minutes max. I mean, I don't think it took me an hour and a half to film it and do it. So it's really not that big of a deal. Reinstall is super easy. I didn't even film it. I reinstalled it in about 5 minutes. You slide it in from the back of the car between the back wheels and up at an angle to get it up on those straps. No big deal. Hold it up in place, throw a strap on it, and then just reconnect all your lines and everything. Easy peasy, dude. The parking brake line that I mentioned, absolutely remove that. Remove that during your fuel tank removal. That's the only thing that was getting in the way after I got everything disconnected, and it made reinstallation almost impossible until I removed it. It's a 10mm bolt. Takes 2 seconds, just zip it out, and then it's out of your way, and you've got room to work. So yeah, this was a fun video to make. It was a fun project to do. I look forward to doing more stuff on this car or some of my other vehicles, or if anybody's got any requests for how to do stuff or whatever, I'm game for it. Just let me know. But yeah, I hope this helps, and if you got any questions, just leave them below and I'll reply if I can.